Hello, and welcome to How to Fix a Book That is Broken. My name is Emily, and I am a school librarian, and this is one of those projects that I rarely get to, and unfortunately, my book hospital has seen better days. So I am going to show you some books that are in my library, and we can ultimately decide if they are savable or not. So first of all, this is a hardback, and I noticed that where the book attaches to the hardback, it's starting to come apart. So you can see how it's splitting here and splitting here. When I check the back, it's also doing the same thing. So I have to decide if it's worth fixing, and because it's kind of a nice version of the book, I think I'm going to try to save that one. So I'm going to set that one aside to save. All right, so then this is a copy of a book that I lent my son, and he let his dog get to it, and there's nothing wrong with it. It just has seen a little bit of a dog chew. So I think I can fix that little corner right there. This is a brand new copy of this book, and unfortunately I don't think it was bound very well because this big huge chunk just came out of it. But I've noticed that's page 108, page 109, so I haven't lost any pages. 196 looks like it is loose, but I think I can save it. Alright, so that one's looking okay. This one, Henry, is also very similar where it's all intact. So I think that one's going to be okay. This Sand County Almanac, this one is all intact. It just, the spine just had a fit. So I definitely think I can fix that one. Okay, so this one, on the other hand, this one has chunks of it missing right here. So that's 57. So it would go like right here, and you can see how it started to break apart, but these pages are loose. So depending on how expensive this book is, I need to decide if it's worth trying to fix. And then this other chunk came out, and this is 23 and 27. So that's clear up here. And looks like it's like right in here somewhere. So it's just this one page, which is kind of weird. Oh wait, 25, 27. So this is 25 is intact. So this is obviously from a different book. LOL. So several of these have fallen apart. So it looks like it's just these 3 pages. So it is possible that I can fix it just because it's 3. It is going to be a little bit tricky. But you make that determination depending on how often the book gets checked out, if it's affordable to get it fixed, or if it's affordable to replace it. You decide. Alright, then we have the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, and this one looks like it's just on the verge of falling apart. I have had to throw a few of these ones away just because they have just been way too far gone to fix, but this one looks like it's a possibility. So as you can see, you just kind of have to look at your books and you determine if it's possible to fix them. Usually when they've split like this, the kids have, went like this to open them wider, and it kind of creates an issue, and so I don't know. Gotta love library books. So to start off, we're gonna pick one of these books that has actually fallen apart. Okay, so I've got this one, and I've got this one. So I'm gonna start with Henry V. Okay, and we are gonna fix Henry V today. So there is a glue that is actually called Norbond, and I purchased it from Demco. The thing I like about this stuff, instead of just using any kind of glue, is this has a kind of a stretchy type bond to it. So it stretches a little bit, where Elmer's glue or other glues like it don't have that stretchable quality. And so I really like this version of it. And I have this little pot that one of my students made me, and I actually use it for the glue. But you basically just need something to put the glue in, okay? So you are going to take the lid off, obviously, and you're going to pour a little bit of this glue. And honestly, when I do this, I try to do all the books at once because it takes a while and it doesn't want to come out today. Here it comes. Okay. I've had this bottle for a while, so it might be a little thicker than it normally is. But anyway, okay. So there's my glue. And then I have several different paint brushes that I like to use depending on what I am doing. Okay. So for this, I'm going to do a couple of things. So first of all, I'm going to take this flat brush, okay, and I'm going to dip it in my glue, and I'm basically going to paint this entire section right here with the glue. I'm going to be pretty generous with it because it's going to help it stick. Because obviously whoever published this book did not pick very sticky stuff, because this has not been used that much and yet it is falling apart this easily. So I'm going to paint this glue on here. Okay, now I'm going to do an extra layer on this part right here, just because then it gives it something to stick to. I'm not going to go quite as thick, and I'm going to not be shy. I'm going to be pretty generous with the glue itself. But I want to make sure, especially on the edges, that there's a good amount of glue. Now this can get tacky pretty quick, so you want to be kind of fast about this. I'm also going to paint this edge. For some reason I'm shaking, don't mind me. And I want to be careful because I don't want to get glue on the pages themselves, like the front and the back, because it can make them stick together. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that I've got the book the right direction. So I've got page 6 right here, and this is page 7. That's page 82, 83. Okay, so we're good to go. So I'm going to place this and do my very best to make sure that it's flat and level. Okay, so I want to make sure that it kind of like meets up here, so that it, I mean, you're not going to be able to get it perfect because it's been broken, but it's going to at least give it a little bit more life. Okay, so then I'm going to kind of take my thumb and I'm going to roll it up, and I'm going to kind of run my thumb along there so that it starts to adhere. And you can see it's really hard to get it perfectly lined up again just because it's a paperback book. But like I said, if you can give it a little bit more life for a small amount of time, and getting it lined up is the worst part, honestly, because as you can see, it's trying to not love me here. So I'm going to do the very best I can to line this up. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to do my best. Sometimes fanning it helps, and sometimes just pushing down on it helps as well. But as you can see, it's not gonna be flush. I'm gonna do the best I can because I'm trying to get it to adhere. Okay. So I'm going to do the very best I can. Now you can also run a small line of glue along here. I have used book glue with a very tiny brush and just brushed it along there. I have also found this glue at Hobby Lobby. It's a craft glue, but it's very thin. And I put a pin in it because sometimes will get clogged, but you can just run a very fine line of glue along here. Because now you're dealing with more paper than anything else. And just run a tiny bit right here. I'm going to fold that up, do the best I can. Okay, now there's a couple different ways that you can do this. Okay, you can get these paper, these huge paper clips, and you can clamp it together. And the nice thing about it is it's going to hold it a little bit better, so then you can start to line it up the way that you like it. So I can take these clips and clip it together. Now if there is, and I'm going to leave it there for a few days, as long as I possibly can, because then that's just going to give it more time to adhere. Now that just fell on the floor. The cap to the glue. So I'm going to go like that. Okay, that's one way you can do it. Now there will be some books that will be fat enough that the clip isn't going to fit, right? It's just too thin. So you can do, there's a couple things you can do. You can do, these are clamps that you get like at Home Depot or Lowe's. Okay, and you can see they have a lot wider of a clamp. But there have even been dictionaries and things like that that I've repaired, and they're just so big that that's not even an option. So some people will use these clamps, and then on top of it they'll also put elastics around these books, and wrap them up tight just to try to get them to be a little bit tighter.